and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements just as Washington kept his farm accounts. Carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why stationed by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is the symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is the token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
I am pleased to announce that at this, the third general session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention, there are 1,923 members and guests registered. Madam President.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. From sunrise to sunset, your next session chair can always be found with a smile on her face. She is always willing to step out of her comfort zone and share her incredible story with others. Her love for gratitude, positive thinking, and sweet potatoes truly make her one of a kind. Please join me in welcoming your Session 3 chair, our 2021-2022 State FFA reporter, Lydia Watanabe.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Session 3 of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention. One of my favorite things to do in my everyday life is taking pictures. There are currently 7,159 photos and 1,045 videos in my camera roll. There's something special about taking the time to capture the moment by taking a picture. We get to freeze that split second and look back at it whenever we want to. This year has been full of new beginnings for all of us as we've navigated our way through the new normal. We have learned the importance of not taking the things in life for granted, especially the little things in the little moments. We learned how important it is to build that right kind of energy that encourages and motivates other people to live to the fullest. This afternoon will be filled with moments of encouragement and warm energy as we celebrate our hard work and lessons learned throughout the year. We'll begin with the second half of the Kansas FFA Proficiency Award pageant, the results of the chapter scrapbook, then our very own 2021-2022 Kansas FFA Secretary, Eric Peterson, will share his heart with us in his retiring address. We will show our appreciation to the businesses and individuals who help us cherish the little moments in life by recognizing our Kansas FFA Foundation sponsors and recognize our chapter seed programs. We'll announce the winners of the Employment Skills Leadership Development event and recognize winners in the Agri-Science Fair. After hearing innovative ideas in the Growing Leaders section of the National Chapter Award and recognize the Presidential CTE Scholars, our National FFA Central Region Vice President, Courtney Zimmerman, will give us some advice to grow with and live by. Finally, we'll recognize our WLC scholarship winners and draw our finalists for the John Deere Gator giveaway. Everyone here has their own little moments in life that we've captured and have kept close to our hearts. And some of these moments, I'm sure, come from FFA trips and competitions. Let's celebrate as we all get ready to capture and soak in these moments and maybe even take a few pictures as we kick off this third session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention. The summer of 2020, my dream I had about wanting to be a kennel girl and work at a local vet clinic came true. There are many things I enjoyed doing at work, but I especially enjoyed taking pictures with the animals boarding at the clinic. During my time at the vet clinic, I learned the importance of pushing through because what I was doing in the moment was ultimately serving the owners, my coworkers, and the clinic. Learning knowledge such as this can prepare one to build their own life, and luckily for FFA members, a supervised agricultural experience aids in this. An SAE helped prepare members for their futures and careers and explore different passions. Those who will be recognized next may not all have experience being a kennel girl, but they sure have pushed through and made it here with a heart of service. This would not be possible without those who support our organization and all the members within. Also, it shall not escape our notice the talent and skills exhibited by the Proficiency Award Committee to be able to choose our winners. Let us also take a moment to give special thanks to the CHS Foundation for their sponsorship of the proficiency ceremonies. Let's take this time to recognize those who have shown extraordinary achievement in agriculture through their supervised agricultural experience. Mr. Secretary, please help us recognize the second half of this year's Kansas Proficiency Award finalists.
Finalists from each proficiency area will be presented in no particular order. Then we will announce our winner in each category. The category of Agricultural Communications is sponsored by Kansas Farmer Magazine. And the winner is Hayden Endicott of the Riverton FFA chapter.
Hayden Endicott from the Riverton FFA chapter has earned this year's Agricultural Communications Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Kansas Farmer Magazine. Hayden is the sole proprietor of Criminal Productions, a small video production company based out of Joplin, Missouri. He films, edits, and produces videos to promote and inform the community of the activities of the Riverton FFA chapter and other agricultural organizations. Since starting the company in 2018, he has transitioned from creating short films to focusing more on creating promotional videos. After graduation, Hayden plans on going into the film industry with the goal of becoming a film director. Hayden is the son of David and Rhonda Endicott. His advisor is Jacob Larison. Great job, Hayden!
In the category of agricultural education, our finalists are Grace Young of the Osawatomie FFA chapter and Callie Newdigger of the Skyline FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Harmon Bliss and Kurt Dillon families. And the winner is Grace Young of the Osawatomie FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Agricultural Education is Grace Young from the Osawatomie FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Harmon Bliss and Kurt Dillon families. Grace worked with youth to expand their knowledge of agriculture by providing hands-on learning activities. Her first teaching experiences were within her FFA chapter, but she soon expanded to teaching her own classes outside of school. One accomplishment that she is most proud of was when she was invited by the Miami County Farm Bureau to independently lead an interactive agricultural learning station about the Kansas corn industry to more than 400 area fourth graders. After high school, she will attend Kansas State University to major in milling science. Grace's parents are Dennis and Brenda Young. Her advisor is Matthew Brandt. Congratulations, Grace!
In the category of agricultural mechanics, design, and fabrication, our finalists are Kyle Peterson from the Center FFA chapter, Charlie Wetstein from the Hugoton FFA chapter, Colby Hinnick from the Mission Valley FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Abilene Machine, and the winner is Colby Hinnick of the Mission Valley FFA chapter.
Colby Hink from the Mission Valley FFA chapter is the winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Agricultural Mechanics, Design, and Fabrication. This award is sponsored by Abilene Machine. Colby's SAE consists of working at Eskridge Lumber and at PTMW. At Eskridge Lumber, he was responsible for cutting lumber, threading metal pipe, and ripping plywood down to correct dimensions. At PTMW, he works as an electrical helper, where he makes and installs custom electrical applications. One of his greatest achievements was learning how to plan and install the electrical systems of a home. After high school, he plans to join the Electric Workers Union to enter their apprenticeship program to become an electrician. Colby is the son of Adam and Wendy Hink. His advisors are Kelly Holting and Cade Fisk. Job well done, Colby.
In the category of agricultural mechanics, repair, and maintenance placement, our finalists are Allison Good from the Hugoton FFA chapter, Cole Nolte from the Marysville FFA chapter, Wyatt Fetcher from the West Elk FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by CanEquip, and the winner is Cole Nolte from the Marysville FFA chapter.
Cole Nolte from the Marysville FFA chapter has earned this year's Agricultural Mechanics, Repair and Maintenance Placement Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by CanEquip. Cole works as a part-time employee at Don's Tractor Salvage, which was started by his grandfather. He assists in many tasks, including dismantling tractors, locating, cleaning, and shipping parts, and preparing tools or supplies needed for a job. He also serves customers by answering the phone and taking notes on what they need done. After graduating from high school, Cole plans to attend Southeast Community College to study agriculture management and productions. Cole is the son of Rod and Mickey Nolte. His advisors are Shelby Siemens and Cassandra Ebert. Good work, Cole.
In the category of agricultural processing, our finalists are Josie Buck from the Jackson Heights FFA chapter, Will Sherman from the Prairie View FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by City Barbecue, and the winner is Will Sherman from the Prairie View FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Agricultural Processing is Will Sherman from the Prairie View FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by City Barbecue. Will is the assistant manager at the Mound City Butcher Block, a local butcher shop that has been in business for 40 years. He assists with custom processing livestock and retail processing for public purchase. Since starting this job 3 years ago, he has helped harvest, process, package, and serve countless customers' needs. He has processed beef, hogs, lamb, deer, buffalo, and elk into edible products. Will's goal is to work at the butcher block and then join the union as a millwright or a carpenter. His parents are Brian and Amy Sherman. His advisors are Trenton Smedley and Melissa Burtz. Great job, Will.
In the category of agricultural sales entrepreneurship, sponsored by Harris Crop Insurance, the winner is Canyon Toll from the Atchison County FFA chapter.
Canyon Toll from the Atchison County FFA chapter is the winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Agricultural Sales Entrepreneurship. This award is sponsored by Harris Crop Insurance. Canyon owns and operates a small-scale agricultural sales business where he buys and sells animals to local customers and at specialty sales around the state. Over time, Canyon learned to market his animals through the use of social media. He works with cattle, boar goats, chickens, and ducks. In the future, he hopes he can transition the majority of his business to cattle and goats. After high school, Canyon plans to continue his education at a technical school or junior college. Canyon is the son of Tiffany Toll. His advisor is Caleb Bodenhausen. Way to go, Canyon!
In the category of agricultural sales placement, our finalists are Nick Kuntz from the Mission Valley FFA chapter, Kendon Wedge from the Royal Valley FFA chapter, Anna Hendricks from the West Elk FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Stewart Seeds, and the winner is Kendon Wedge from the Royal Valley FFA chapter.
Kendon Wegge from the Royal Valley FFA chapter has earned this year's Agricultural Sales Placement Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Stewart Seed. Kendon works at Wegge's Feed Service. He has learned how to use the computer to write up tickets to help keep track of the inventory and the financial details of the business. Kendon learned how to run the Bobcat to both unload semi-trucks that bring feed and load large customer orders. He has improved his communication skills and learned more about good diets for livestock. In the future, Kendon plans to attend lineman school at Manhattan Area Technical College. Kendon is the son of Kenny and Donna Wegge. His advisor is Kim Clark. Congratulations, Kendon.
In the category of agricultural services, our finalists are Megan Paddock from the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter, Lily Lefford from the Royal Valley FFA chapter, Allison Deans from the Scott City FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Farm Credit Associations of Kansas. And the winner is Allison Deans from the Scott City FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Agricultural Services is Allison Dinas from the Scott City FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Farm Credit Associations of Kansas. Allison works at her parents' fertilizer business, Dinas Poland Services. Her responsibilities at the business started with moving equipment and running conveyors. Now Allison has had the opportunity to work directly with customers. Allison can run semi-trailers, floaters, conveyors, and other types of equipment. Allison gets to work in the field as they provide services to farmers, which has provided plenty of opportunities to learn details about financial decision-making, farm management, and fertilizer use on various crops. Allison is the son of Michael and Lindsay Dinas. Her advisor is Allison Railsback. Way to go, Allison!
In the category of Agri-Science Research Integrated Systems, our finalists are Rachel Sebesta from the Ellsworth FFA chapter, Caden Weltmer from the Smith Center FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Pioneer Corteva Agri-Sciences, and the winner is Caden Weltmer from the Smith Center FFA chapter.
Caden Weltmer from the Smith Center FFA chapter has earned this year's Agri-Science Research Integrated Systems Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Pioneer Corteva Agri-Science. Caden works at W&S Ranch Incorporated. He worked with his supervisors to develop his project entitled Digging Deeper, an investigation of the stratification of nutrients in no-till soils. This is an extensive soil sampling project and study. 11 grid sample points with 5 depths at each point were sampled. Caden's motivation was driven by the applicability and relevance to their farming operation. He plans to attend Kansas State University to major in agronomy and eventually return to the family farm. Caden is the son of Philip and Jessica Weltmer. His advisor is Monica Wagner. Let's recognize Caden for a job well done.
In the category of Beef Production Entrepreneurship, our finalists are Nisa Olson from the Manhattan FFA chapter, Lauren Ost from the Prairie View FFA chapter, Christy Bean from the Uniontown FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Sam and Janet Hands, and the winner is Christy Bean from the Uniontown FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Beef Production Entrepreneurship is Christy Bean from the Uniontown FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Sam and Janet Hands. Christy raises registered Angus and Charolais cattle along with crossbred cattle. Her passion for cattle began when she was 7 years old when she first raised and showed a bucket calf. Some of Christy's responsibilities include feeding, checking the pasture, vaccinating, freeze branding, tattooing, and record keeping. Christy's greatest accomplishment is increasing the quality of her herd by using genetic selection to AI her cows. She plans to attend Fort Scott Community College and pursue a degree in elementary education. Christy is the daughter of Janet and Mike Bean. Her advisor is Scott Sutton. Congratulations, Christy.
In the category of Beef Production Placement, our finalists are Andrew Endicott from the Ashland FFA chapter, Weston Schrader from the Minneapolis FFA chapter, Caden Strop from the Prairie View FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Tiffany Cattle Company, and the winner is Caden Strop from the Prairie View FFA chapter.
Caden Strop from the Prairie View FFA chapter is the winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Beef Production Placement. This award is sponsored by Tiffany Cattle Company. Caden has worked for the Oss Land and Cattle since middle school. The facilities have grown tremendously over the years, as well as his responsibilities and duties in the operation. Caden cares for thousands of cattle each day by feeding, doctoring, riding pens, processing, sorting, loading cattle, welding, and maintaining equipment, and in the summer he helps cut hay. He plans to attend Fort Scott Community College for Farm and Ranch Management and continue livestock judging at a collegiate level. Caden is the son of Austin and Megan Strop. His advisors are Melissa Burtz and Trenton Smedley. Great job, Caden.
In the category of dairy production placement, our finalists are Madeline Jensen from the Kenton Galva FFA chapter, Lane Barrett from the Rural Vista FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Kansas Dairy. And the winner is Lane Barrett of the Rural Vista FFA chapter.
Lane Barrett from the Rural Vista FFA chapter has earned this year's Dairy Production Placement Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Kansas Dairy. Lane works on his grandpa's dairy farm, where he milks the cows each night. While milking the cows, he also cleans the parlor and barns to ensure sanitation standards are met. They grow their own feed, which Lane helps with during the summer and during harvest. Lane has learned a strong work ethic from working alongside his grandpa on the farm, and he is honored to be able to continue his grandpa's traditions. Lane's SAE has shown him that he wants to continue working in agriculture, and he plans to someday return to the family farm. Lane is the son of Bobby Joe Barrett. His advisor is Tracy Olschlager. Way to go, Lane.
In the category of diversified agricultural production, our finalists are Tanner Stuklik from the Center FFA chapter, Cody Wiley from the Iola FFA chapter, Carly Albright from the Royal Valley FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Triangle H Farms in memory of Greg Hands. And the winner is Cody Wiley from the Iola FFA chapter.
Cody Willie from the Iola FFA chapter has earned this year's Diversified Agricultural Production Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Triangle H Farms in memory of Greg Hands. Cody works on his 6,000-acre family farm alongside his dad and grandfather. His responsibilities include operating the combine for harvest, moving equipment from field to field, vaccinating cattle, and feeding grain and hay to the stocker cattle. Cody has not only learned about the hands-on part of farming, but also some of the record-keeping and financial details as well. After high school, Cody plans to go to college and then return to the family farm. Cody is the son of John and Beth Willie. His advisor is Amanda Strickler Holman. Congratulations, Cody!
In the category of diversified crop production entrepreneurship, our finalists are Isaac Utes from the Holton FFA chapter, Megan Paddock from the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter, and Ben Russell from the South Haven FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Volgamore Family Farms, and the winner is Megan Paddock from the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Diversified Crop Production Entrepreneurship is Megan Paddock from the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Volgamore Family Farms. Megan has grown soybeans and corn on her family farm for 3 years. She has a labor exchange agreement with her father to use his equipment to cultivate the ground, spread fertilizer, and plant and harvest her crops. Megan purchases her own inputs like seeds, pesticides, and fertilizer with recommendations from her dad. After graduation, Megan plans to attend Kansas State University to major in animal science and eventually become a veterinarian. Megan's parents are Brent and Lori Paddock. Her advisors are Casey James and Brett Brownback. Let's congratulate Megan for a job well done.
In the category of diversified crop production placement, our finalists are Noah Wiley from the Labette County FFA chapter, Colton Miller from the Renwick FFA chapter, Coy Stom from the Washington County FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Kansas Corn. And the winner is Noah Wiley from the Labette County FFA chapter.
Noah Wiley from the Labette County FFA chapter is the winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Diversified Crop Production Placement. This award is sponsored by Kansas Corn. Noah works for Frazier Farms, where they grow corn, soybeans, and wheat. He uses vertical tillage to control weeds and field cultivation to create a level seed bed. Noah's greatest accomplishment was learning to operate all of the equipment effectively. He can perform all the maintenance on the combine and headers to get them ready for harvest. Noah plans to attend Coffeyville Community College and Kansas State University to study agronomy and then return to production agriculture. Noah is the son of Dustin and Becky Wiley. His advisors are Dustin Wiley, Keith Guerin, and Guile Swollen. Great job, Noah!
In the category of Diversified Horticulture, our finalists are Rebecca Vague from the Ellsworth FFA chapter, Cassidy Chase from the Oxford FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by the Humert International. And the winner is Cassidy Chase of the Oxford FFA chapter.
Cassidy Chase from the Oxford FFA chapter has earned this year's Diversified Horticulture Proficiency Award. This award is sponsored by Hummer International. Cassidy works at Primarily Plants in Oxford. She assists with creating floral designs, manages all the invoices for the shop, and cares for the bedding plants and house plants that they sell. Cassidy has gained new skills, including making corsages, boutonnieres, and wedding bouquets. She has also acquired accounting skills such as how to balance accounts and prepare invoices. Cassidy will be attending Northwestern Oklahoma State University in the fall to pursue a degree in agricultural business. Cassidy is the daughter of Linda and Mark Chase. Her advisor is Lauren Van Allen. Way to go, Cassidy!
In the category of Diversified Livestock Production, our finalists are Tucker Huseman from the Ellsworth FFA chapter, Delaney New from the Holton FFA chapter, Jacob Bell from the Hugoton FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Harms Plainview Ranch. And the winner is Jacob Bell from the Hugoton FFA chapter.
The winner of this year's Proficiency Award in Diversified Livestock Production is Jacob Bell from the Hugoton FFA chapter. This award is sponsored by Harms Plainview Ranch. Jacob raises breeding cattle, market cattle, and chickens. His cows are bred to calve every spring, and he raises the calves through the summer, fall, and winter and sells them as yearlings. Jacob buys or hatches a new set of chicks in the spring every year and raises them to produce eggs that he sells to the local community. Jacob plans to attend Oklahoma Panhandle State University to study agronomy and eventually return to the family farm. Jacob is the son of Craig and Tia Bell. His advisor is Les McNally. Let's congratulate Jacob on a job well done.
Each of these proficiency winners will continue to represent Kansas this fall at the 95th National FFA Convention. Please take a moment to congratulate these members and wish them luck at National Convention.
Please welcome Abby Johnson and Nathan Oldie to the stage for a very heartwarming introduction.
I have had the pleasure of knowing Eric since I was in the 5th grade. Being a year older than Eric, I've always looked at him as more of a little brother, but also as a best friend. There are few people in this world I know who are as passionate about ag, Star Wars, and firefighting as Eric is. He is also known to enjoy a very clever joke and can make anyone feel like a welcomed friend in just a few minutes. I've always looked up to Eric for his passion for helping people and making our world a better place. He has taught me to stay true to my roots, be steadfast in my beliefs, and to never put too much trust in a rusted-out seed tender. And I'll let you ask him about that one.
From strangers to teammates to my best friend, Eric has been a constant in my life. After meeting through district officer candidacy, I never thought that the tall, blonde stranger would end up being like a brother to me. His admiration for hard work and grit is balanced with a kind and empathetic heart, unlike any person you've ever met before. Whether it's an unplanned run to McDonald's, lunch after church on Sunday, or making omelets on a weeknight, Eric always makes time for the people around him, with food, of course. I admire a countless amount of his traits, even appreciating his healthy stubbornness through our $10 bill war, and you can ask him about that one too.
It is with great pleasure that we get to introduce to you
our best friend and your Kansas FFA Secretary, Eric Peterson, for his retiring address called Against the Grain.
Ready, set, hut. Peterson catches the ball in the 25. He cuts across the grain. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Eagles. If you've ever been in Clyde on a Friday night, odds are you've heard our famous announcer Jonesy's favorite catchphrase, cuts across the grain. He would say this when a player would take the ball and cut across the width of the field in order to avoid a defender. Oftentimes this would be difficult, but necessary in order to gain those extra yards. For me, the ties between football and woodworking have long been intertwined. Mr. Carlson, my woodworking teacher, was also one of my football coaches, and he taught me a ton in the wood shop. He taught me how to use all sorts of different tools, like the table saw and the miter box. Now typically, the table saw was used to make long cuts with the grain, while the miter box was used to make short cuts against the grain. But on the rare occasion that there was a board that was too wide to make the cut with the miter box, we'd have to make the difficult cross-grain cut with the table saw. Now this cut was difficult because it was harder to keep the board straight, and it was dangerous because if the board got caught, it would get thrown a lot easier. But if you were able to make this cut, you ended up with a superior product because instead of gluing two pieces of wood together, you had one solid board. The difficulty of this cut reflects the school of philosophy that I subscribe to. Now I know what you're all thinking. Philosophy, Eric, that sounds boring. And I thought the same thing too, until I was introduced to Stoicism. Stoicism is the belief in doing difficult things for the sake of doing difficult things. But I think the story from my friend Walker sums it up best. I absolutely hate running. I hate everything about it. It's boring, it's tedious, and oftentimes it's very painful. But I know it's necessary for physical health. So, when I was at a conference with Walker earlier this year, and he said he needed to go on a run, I jumped at the opportunity. What I forgot to realize was that Walker is actually a very misleading name, because he's quite a good runner, and he was training for a marathon at this point. So we meet out front of the hotel, and we take off running. And I'm keeping up with him. I'm doing great. Until we get to the first hill. Halfway up the hill, I realize I am completely out of breath. A mile in, I'm trying not to let Walker see how much I'm struggling, but at 1.25 miles, I have to ask him to stop. Oh man, Walker, this, cold weather really messes with your lungs, right? Yeah, Eric, he said very politely, but it was obvious that I was just insanely out of shape. So we get back to the hotel, where I go up to my room to collapse, and Walker carries on his run. Walker decided to run this marathon and train for it because he wanted to improve himself. And while I'm not planning on running a marathon anytime soon, I understand and was inspired by this act of stoicism to prove myself and improve myself in my running abilities and areas of weakness. Every day, we take all sorts of comforts for granted. You can have almost anything online ordered, delivered right to your doorstep on Amazon. Your favorite meal can be delivered straight to you in minutes by DoorDash. And we have hours and hours of entertainment at our fingertips on Netflix and YouTube. These things themselves aren't bad, but a reliance upon them is. If we find ourselves so devoted to these things that we are constantly chasing the next comfort, we're going to be destined to live a life doing just that. Stoicism rejects that idea and instead suggests living a lifestyle based on self-improvement. Take this small act of stoicism as an example. If we find ourselves in a room that is too hot or too cold, we should do our best to be content in that place. Because if we find ourselves more content in a larger range of temperatures, we're going to be more prepared for situations in which we can't change the temperature and situations in which we're not prepared. And as we prepare ourselves by doing these little things, we will be more prepared for anything. Because as the Chinese proverb goes, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. John F. Kennedy, who was president during the space race, once said, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard." We can all understand how difficult going to the moon is, right? But how hard was it really? We have more technology in the smartphones in our pockets than they had on the computers in the Apollo 11 mission. That's right, the same thing we waste hours a day scrolling on TikTok on has more computing power than what it took to put a man on the moon. This was a difficult task that cost millions of dollars and pushed the best scientists in the world to their absolute limits. But we chose to do this difficult task not because it was easy, but because it was insanely hard. And when you do difficult things, you learn valuable truths about yourself and can allow yourself to grow into your best form. Once these astronauts got to the moon, there was another challenge. Once they stepped off the space shuttle, it was a completely foreign environment. Nobody had ever stepped surface on any surface other than Earth. And when they got there, it was a completely odd sensation. Much like this, when I first got elected to a district office, I had no idea what I was doing. I showed up to my first district officer meeting, and everybody there seemed so confident and outgoing. And I was just this shy farm kid that didn't like talking in front of people. But as the year went on, and as I pushed myself outside this comfort zone, I found myself getting better at public speaking, and better at talking to people, and more confident. And even by pushing myself outside this comfort zone, I ended up with some of the best friends that I will ever have. It actually took me 2 attempts to be a district officer. The first time I ran, I didn't get elected, and some of you might be there with me. You might know the pain of wanting something so bad and working so hard for it, but not quite getting it. Coming up just a little short. Maybe you didn't get the office you wanted, or the award you strived so hard for. I was there in that moment. And the next year, I had no intention of going through the same pain again. I was ready just to sit on the sidelines and say, I could have done that. I could have been a district officer if I would have wanted to. But that's when my dad told me something that I will never, ever forget. He said, "You wouldn't be a failure if you didn't achieve your dreams. You would be a failure if you didn't chase them at all." He wanted me to know that it's better to fail forward than live a life on solid ground that's neither going forwards nor backwards. Theodore Roosevelt, man who was famous for doing difficult things, once said in a speech titled "Citizenship in a Republic," "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out where the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. But the credit belongs to the man actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming.
but who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself on a worthy cause, who at best knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails while daring greatly, so that his place will never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Think about your arena. What challenges are you currently facing? Now, think about those by your side in that arena. Who's building you up? Who's helping you? Who wants what's best for you? Think about them. Appreciate them. Thank them. Because at the end of the day, when the cards are down and you're at your lowest point, these are the ones that are going to want to help you. In the same way, now think about those in the nosebleeds, the cheap seats, the ones with no skin in the game and that want to tear you down because they don't have the guts to do what you're doing. Cast their opinions out of your mind. Because if you waste too much energy on the people that are trying to tear you down, you'll never have enough energy for those wanting to build you up. There's plenty of people in generations older than us that are saying that our generation's too lazy, that we're too weak, that we're entitled, that we'll never have to work for anything. I say that we have a chance to prove them wrong. We have a chance to be the change that this world so desperately needs. But in order to do this, we have to step outside of our comfort zone. We have to do hard things. We have to work. We have to fight. Kansas FFA, we have to go against the grain.
Eric, your willingness to show up and meet people right where they are wholeheartedly shines through everything you do, and that has left a mark on us and Kansas FFA. Thank you for always giving us hugs, even when you may not want to, and trying to calm me down when I drove into a field on our way to our first chapter visit, and listening to our girl talks in the car, but most importantly, for always having our backs. You always make sure we can come to you for absolutely anything. It's been a privilege to be your friend. Love, Josie, Rachel, Ashley, Jocelyn, and Lydia. Kansas FFA, your 2021-2022 Kansas FFA Secretary, Eric Peterson. Please join me in welcoming a few people who have prepared Eric for his service and given up their time with him so he could spend it with Kansas FFA members.
Mom, thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for staying up late to do laundry and for packing lunches for long road trips. Thank you for driving hours and hours to watch football games, which you had no idea what was going on, but you were my biggest supporter anyways. Thank you for always being my biggest fan and teaching me everything I know about being a good person. Dad, thank you for teaching me everything I know about being a man and about farming and ranching. I'll always appreciate those Sunday morning drives to Kisby's where you and I talk about anything and everything. Those conversations will mean more to me than you'll ever know. Kansas FFA, I would like to present to you my parents, Greg and Carrie Peterson, and bestow upon them the honorary state FFA. Mr. Fahey, thank you for stepping up to the plate when our chapter needed an advisor. We appreciate you diving in head first, even when you may not have always known what was going on. You were a great leader, and thank you for always being there for us. Mrs. Coleman, Words cannot describe how much you've had an impact on my life. You were there for me through success and failure and everything in between. Thank you for helping me to pursue all my crazy dreams and seeing something in me that I didn't even see in myself. Kansas FFA, I would like to present to you my advisors, Mr. Fahey and Mrs. Coleman. Mr. Baker, thank you for always having an open door and being willing to talk to any of your students at any time. I'll always appreciate your understanding of the importance of hands-on learning for the education of young people and how it can change so many lives. Thank you for always being supportive of our FFA chapter and our many trips and all of our adventures. Kansas FFA, I'd like to present to you my principal, Mr. Baker.
Thank you for continually supporting and believing in Eric and in FFA. Members and guests, please join me in thanking these exceptional individuals one last time as they exit the stage. One of my favorite sports in middle school was track. There was a lot of hesitation when I picked track because I wasn't a really good runner. Despite the fear I felt, I decided to go for it, and it ended up being one of the best decisions I've ever made. My whole family supported me, and I had incredible teammates who were all so encouraging and like family. We would run through the mountains together and sometimes take routes that we really weren't supposed to, but those adventurous runs are one of the reasons that brought us so close together. The one thing I really did enjoy, though, is when I had my picture taken while I was running. My mom is all about taking pictures, and she especially enjoys capturing my running moments. Even through suffering through the moments of getting my picture taken while having a face that looked like I was going to punch someone, I've learned that capturing those moments is just as or even more important than getting the perfect picture. These next individuals have supported this organization much in the same way my teammates and family had supported me. They have accomplished this by supporting and caring for the Kansas FFA Association by becoming a foundation sponsor. This afternoon, we are pleased to recognize our generous sponsors from all levels of contribution. Please turn your attention to the screen as we highlight our Kansas FFA Foundation sponsors. 11,000 Kansas FFA members, thank you for your commitment and dedication to our organization. Your willingness to serve allows us to have the opportunity to grow, learn, and follow the path to our passions. Thank you for allowing all of our members to pursue their paths of success. Please join me one more time to thank our foundation sponsors. One of my favorite gifts to give to people are framed pictures. You get to capture a special moment together, then go buy that picture frame that you think is the perfect fit. I remember giving a framed picture to my ag teacher a few Christmases ago. She now has that in her living room, and it always makes me smile when I go over to her house and see it. Just like this kind of thoughtful act of giving to others, chapters can choose to take part in the Chapter Seed program by giving to the foundation a minimum of a $200 donation. This aids and supports the foundation to sustain current and develop new relationships with businesses and individuals. Each year, these chapters are recognized at state convention, on the Kansas FFA Foundation website, and in the foundation's annual report. For their commitment, they will also receive a plaque to commemorate their efforts to ensure the security of funding for scholarships, proficiency awards, career development events, state convention, and teacher enrichment and mentoring programs. Using these funds, we can also identify new initiatives to further enhance our programs. This year, we proudly have 24 chapter seed programs. Mr. Secretary, please read the chapters that have made this commitment.
I am pleased to read the names of the following chapters that are being recognized as Chapter Seed programs. The Buhler FFA Chapter. The Center FFA Chapter. The Clay Center FFA Chapter. The Ellsworth FFA Chapter. The Fairfield FFA Chapter. The Hiawatha FFA Chapter. The Hugoton FFA Chapter. The Iola FFA Chapter. The Jefferson West FFA Chapter. The Leoti FFA Chapter. The Logan FFA Chapter. The Meridazine FFA Chapter. The Marion Florence FFA Chapter. The McLouth FFA Chapter. The Minneapolis FFA Chapter. The Mission Valley FFA Chapter. The Neodesha FFA Chapter. The Onega FFA Chapter. The Osborne County FFA Chapter. The Prairie View FFA Chapter. The Republic County FFA Chapter. The Sedan FFA Chapter. The South Barber FFA Chapter. Washington County FFA Chapter. Please join me in thanking these chapters one last time for their willingness to support the efforts of Kansas FFA Foundation.
Whenever my family traveled, I remember getting so irritated when my mom would stop my dad, brother, and I to take a picture wherever we went somewhere, even if it was a pretty tree that had just bloomed down the road from our house. I didn't understand why she wanted to capture every little thing around us. Now I wholeheartedly understand where she comes from. I love taking pictures even if I know I can't get a perfect quality. I try no matter what. As I've gotten older, I can begin to appreciate the times my mom nagged us to get in line for a picture because she's absolutely amazing when it comes to making scrapbooks. There's just something so special about pictures and capturing that exact moment. You don't ever get that moment back, even if it's good or bad. She has stacks and stacks of scrapbooks she's made in the past in our house, and I enjoy going through them when I go home. The next chapters to be recognized have not only captured many moments in time, but have organized them too. They do this not only to leave moments of inspiration for us, but for future members to come. They have been able to accomplish this by compiling all their chapter activities and experiences together in a scrapbook. Due to their efforts, their chapters will be able to commemorate all of the amazing accomplishments of their members in the years to come. Mr. Secretary, please announce the chapters who are to receive the Chapter Scrapbook Award.
Those chapters placing in the Bronze Division of the Scrapbook Awards are the Center FFA Chapter, the Ellsworth FFA Chapter, the Gossel FFA Chapter, the Ness City FFA Chapter, and the Shawnee Heights FFA Chapter. Let's give the Bronze Division a round of applause. The chapters placing in the Silver Division are the Arkansas City FFA Chapter, the Cheney FFA Chapter, the Clay Center FFA Chapter, the Eudora FFA Chapter, the Girard FFA Chapter, the Wamego FFA Chapter. Let's give the Silver Division a round of applause. And please help me welcome to the stage the chapters in the Gold Division. In ranking order, earning fourth place is the Logan FFA Chapter. In third place is the Fairfield FFA Chapter. Placing second is the Chase FFA Chapter. And I'm pleased to announce that this year's Scrapbook Award winner is the Fredonia FFA Chapter. Congratulations to all the chapters participating in the scrapbook competition.
Photography takes some skill. You have to get the right angle, the right kind of lighting, and so many other components just right. Just like photographers need skill to capture the moment, these members have shown their own skill in writing resumes, cover letters, and interviewing for jobs. These members are working hard to enhance their skills to become prepared for interviews to enter the career field. Our appreciation goes out to Ag One Source, who sponsored this event. Mr. Secretary, please announce the winners of the Employment Skills Leadership Development event?
The results of the Employment Skills Leadership Development event are: in 6th place is Cody Loganbill from the Eudora FFA chapter. Taking 5th place is Jenna Richardson from the Dexter FFA chapter. In 4th place is Sophia Fleer from the Prairie View FFA chapter. Earning 3rd place is Cecilia Newby from the Labette County FFA chapter. In 2nd place is Caden Weltmer from the Smith Center FFA chapter. And your 2022 champion in the Employment Skills LDE is Casey Helm from the Madison FFA chapter. Please join me in giving these winners a round of applause as they exit the stage.
My dad got his very first smartphone just a few months ago. He'd had a flip phone all his life because he was too stubborn to just bite the bullet and get a smartphone. I don't know what changed his mind, but he bought an iPhone 12 mini and he's really enjoying it so far. But let me tell you, it was a struggle for him to figure out how it worked. My brother and I had to sit down and teach him how to send pictures and videos from his phone. At least he knew how to take the actual picture. He has definitely learned a lot in the last few months and has even gotten faster at typing. It always makes my day when I see a message from him, and it especially makes me happy if he sends me pictures. Technology and science can be complicated things to get the hang of. These next students have navigated their way through some complex concepts and designed experiments to answer pressing questions. The winners will continue sharing their Eureka moments as representatives of the Kansas FFA Association at the National Agri-Science Competition at the 95th National FFA Convention. The Agri-Science Fair Awards are sponsored by Merck Animal Health and Pioneer. Mr. Secretary, will you please announce the results of the Agri-Science Fair?
In the category of animal systems, there were 13 projects submitted. In Division 1, placing 2nd, is Riley Ward from the Ashland FFA chapter. Placing 1st, with a project titled Progressive Motility of Cattle Semen at Different Thawing Temperatures, is TJ Mills from the Eureka FFA chapter. In Division 2, placing 1st with their project What's Your Horse's Favorite Color is Deegan Boggs and Elijah Casella from the Ashland FFA chapter. In Division 3, placing 4th is Keaton Ryan from the Kenton Galva FFA chapter. Placing 3rd is Isham Marston from the Kenton Galva FFA chapter. Placing second is Maggie Chandler from the Neodeshe FFA chapter. And placing first with a project titled Determining Protein Concentration in Raw Milk Colostrum and Milk Replacer is Ava Anschush from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 4, placing first with their project The Effects of Probiotic Water on Weight Gain of a Common Laying Hen is Noah Goss and Lexi West from the Ellsworth FFA chapter. In Division 5, placing third is Emma Myers from the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. Placing second is Gabrielle Brown from the Junction City FFA chapter. And placing first with a project titled Age of Peak Reproduction Performance of Simmental Males, Females in Relation to Offspring Winging Weight is Emma Oftenberg from the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. In Division 6, placing second is Emma McAdams and Abigail Porter from the Beloit FFA chapter. And placing first with their project, The Effect of an Artificial Culture Vessel on Embryo Development, is Jaden Edger and Jory Ratzloff from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Please join me in congratulating the Animal Science category winners. In the category of Environmental and Natural Resources, there were 9 projects submitted. In Division 3, placing second is Aiden Pierce from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Placing first with the project Taming the Wild Beast, Determining the Effect of Music on Wildlife Rehabilitation is Jasper Kierva from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 4, placing second is Hayes Belts and Nathaniel Erskine from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Placing first with their project Improving Air Quality Through Plant Purification is Isabel Huddleston and Leon Leobrand from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 5, placing fourth is Lane McMahons from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Placing third is Matthew Price from the Wellington FFA chapter. Placing second is Madison Jacobs from the Junction City FFA chapter. And placing first with evaluating the effects of cellulose treatment on anabolina solution is Dalton Regier from the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. In Division 6, placing first with their project The Effect of Roundup on Soil Microbial Health is Sage Taubes and Ryder Nordstrom from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Please join me in congratulating the Environmental and Natural Resources category winners. In the category of food products, there were 6 projects submitted. In Division 1, placing first with a project titled Tender Steak, It's What's for Dinner, is Addison Westerman from the Eureka FFA chapter. In Division 2, placing second is Brooklyn Burnins and Liberty Lilacker from the Ashland FFA chapter. Placing first through the project Grain-Fed and Grass-Fed Beef Burger is Mia Cancero and Rianne Hurst from the Ashland FFA chapter. In Division 5, placing second is Walker Nightingale from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. And placing first with determining the protein content of eggs using the Bradford assay test for protein is Michaela Dibben from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 6, placing first with their project titled The Effect of pH, Temperature, and Food Source on Yeast Colony Growth is Lillian Espinoza and Emma Herrera from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Please join me in congratulating the food products category winners. In the category of plant systems, there were 9 projects submitted. In Division 1, placing second is Blaine King from the Crest FFA chapter. Placing first with the project Soybean Yield Comparisons with Varying Cover Crop Management is Hannah Pierre from the Eureka FFA chapter. In Division 2, placing first through their project How Does Different Amounts of Nitrogen Affect Corn Growth in a Greenhouse is Kylie Fizemeyer and Janae Wolf from the Clay Center FFA chapter. In Division 3, placing second is Olivia Red Craig from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Placing first with a project titled Does Altering Grower Package Suggested Planting Depth Affect the Germination Rate of Beads is Rebecca Veg from the Ellsworth FFA chapter. In Division 4, placing first with their project Hydroponic System Nutritions is Kason Leonard and Karsten Vaughn from the Sublette FFA chapter. In Division 5, placing second is Rachel Kersing from the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. Placing first with Do Tomato Plants Grow Better Using Raw, Rule, or Treated Water is Bryn Collier from the Jayhawk Lynn FFA chapter. In Division 6, placing first with the effects of hydroponic versus drip system on strawberry germination is Isaiah Patton and Caden Marley from the Canton Galva FFA chapter. Please join me in congratulating the plant system category winners. the category of power and technology, there was one project submitted. In Division 2, placing first with their project Cattle Fed on Your Gas Tank is Jonathan Culp and Carlos Ortez from the Ashland FFA chapter. Please give them a round of applause. In the category of social sciences, there were 7 projects submitted. In Division 3, placing first, do you like the label? Do labels affect your grocery preferences? Is Courtney Dibben from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 4, placing first through their project determining the impact of construction and operation of a meat processing facility in Junction City is Emma Hines and Keandra Wilcox from the Junction City FFA chapter. In Division 5, placing fourth is Alexis O'Neill from the Junction City FFA chapter. Placing third is Lyle Cartwright from the Junction City FFA chapter. Placing second is Mary Canine from the Tonganoxie FFA chapter. And placing first, with effects to consider when consuming energy drinks and alcohol, is Jeanette Meza from the Ashland FFA chapter. In Division 6, placing first with their project determining public perception and attitudes towards indigenous contributions to agriculture is Jasmine Bruce and Kayla Young from the Junction City FFA chapter. Join me in congratulating all the AgriScience Fair Award winners.
Picture yourself from a bug's perspective, or think about the tiny buildings and cars you see down below you when you're on an airplane. In the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, an experiment accidentally shrunk the kids after they snuck into the upstairs lab to retrieve a baseball. The kids had one big adventure in their backyard, all while being the size of a teeny bug, even smaller than an ant. They spend their adventure trying to find their way back to the house and get their father's attention in hopes that he could turn them back to normal human size. All these antics led to the main theme, seeing everything from a different perspective. Seeing things from a new perspective is important in all aspects of life, and growing leaders of the national chapters portion is no exception. These next chapters have excelled in seeing things from a different angle and perspective through their ability to grow leaders within their chapter. Their efforts this year have brought new leaders and new success into the organization. Mr. Secretary, please begin the recognition of innovative ideas in the Growing Leaders area of the National Chapter Award.
Leadership is central to the mission of the FFA. Year-round FFA chapters strive to enhance their members' leadership ability and prepare students to be engaged members of society. Chapters excelling in the growing leaders area of their local program of activities use innovative ideas and dedication to encourage a new generation of young leaders. Be thinking about new ways your chapter can foster leadership as we learn more about the chapters with innovative ideas in the growing leaders area of the National Chapter Award.
The Arkansas City FFA chapter partnered with Suicide Prevention of Cowley County to plan and conduct a school-wide initiative to encourage conversations about mental health and suicide prevention. Activities were conducted during school lunch hours and included a petting zoo, games, and mental health and suicide prevention resources. Chapter members formed a committee to help organize each aspect of the event. In addition to the petting zoo that featured 4 different species of animals, booths were set up that included games and a chance to write complimentary notes to fellow students. By the time the event concluded, more than 650 students attended and wrote 220 encouraging notes to one another. The committee also invited the local police to present information about suicide prevention. Ark City FFA's efforts helped decrease the stigma of talking about suicide and mental illnesses in their school community. It also equipped teens with ways to encourage others who were going through difficult times, as well as take their own mental health seriously. The Arkansas City FFA chapter has 106 members. The advisors are Casey Bogart, Josie Messenger, and Jacob Sumter. The Clay Center FFA chapter worked together to hold an 8th grade career development fair. The fair provided an opportunity for students to learn about the different events they could participate in once they were in FFA. 8th graders were able to experience 5 different career development events, including floriculture, food science, meats, livestock, and vet science. A committee was formed to help select and organize the CDE stations, and a chapter officer and at least 2 FFA members worked at each station to present information and help the 8th graders through the CDE activity. After the event was completed, the committee sent out a survey to measure their results. This event increased FFA members' knowledge of CDEs, and it increased interest in FFA. The survey showed that 77% of participants plan to join FFA. Clay Center FFA's CDE Fair promoted student involvement and growth through agriculture-related experiences and gave students insight into potential future careers. Clay Center FFA has 196 members. The advisors are Andrea Flayler and Ashley Tunn. Members of the Ellsworth FFA chapter observed a lack of participation in clubs and activities, so the FFA officer team decided to host a school-wide club and activity recruitment day that focused on character traits that students could build through FFA and other extracurricular activities. Students had the opportunity to participate in training sessions and then test their newfound knowledge in the Sunflower Derby. Kansas FFA officers were invited to present to the student body and lead workshops with the Ellsworth FFA chapter officer team. The topics of the workshops were chosen based on research done by a special committee that determined 5 core traits that students need to develop. Nearly 300 students participated in the Sunflower Derby, and students have seen an increase in involvement and self-awareness throughout their school. The Sunflower Derby also helped current FFA members develop their communication skills and share the message that each individual has the potential to grow through involvement and goal setting. Ellsworth FFA has 87 members, and the advisor is Carl Don Stover. The Udall FFA chapter presented an activity called Cluing In on Leadership, a district-wide murder mystery game based off the board game Clue. Udall FFA officers brainstormed ideas and outlined how the game would be played. FFA members created characters with backstories, as well as a life-sized game layout for participants to experience. The activity included classrooms that were decorated to resemble the board game and featured challenges in each room that required teamwork and cooperation. FFA officer teams from across the district had the opportunity to become detectives and try to solve the crime. The teams were challenged to interact with suspects, use problem-solving skills, and teamwork to eliminate suspects, and be the first team to solve the mystery. 5 different officer teams participated in the murder mystery game and accomplished tasks that helped them grow individually and as a team. Cluing In on Leadership participants met new people, developed communication and decision-making skills, and built relationships within their officer teams. Udall FFA has 29 members, and the advisor is Aaron Soba.
Receiving recognition for their innovative ideas are the Arkansas City FFA chapter for the Bulldogs backing Bulldogs suicide prevention. The Clay Center FFA chapter for the 8th grade CDE fair. The Ellsworth FFA chapter for the Sunflower Derby. And the Udall FFA chapter for cluing in on leadership. Let's give these chapters with innovative ideas in the Growing Leaders section one more round of applause.
The lens of the camera gathers light, and just like this, we gather knowledge through CTE and agricultural education. The next members on the stage share this belief by being Presidential Career Technical Education Scholars. The Presidential Scholars Program was established by President Lyndon Johnson in 1964 and has since honored more than 6,000 outstanding high school seniors. The mission of the program is to recognize and honor superior high school seniors and thereby encourage high attainment among all students. Starting in 2016, outstanding students who demonstrate excellence in career and technical education were included for Presidential Scholar recognition. This year, we get the opportunity to recognize 2 Presidential Career Technical Education Scholars. Mr. Secretary, please read the names of those members receiving recognition as scholars.
I am pleased to read the following names as Presidential Career and Technical Education Scholars. From the Atchison County FFA chapter, Macy Burns. And from the Burlington FFA chapter, Kiana Langton. Please join me in giving the 2022 Presidential CTE Scholars a round of applause.
As FFA members, we have opportunities to go on trips and gain new experiences, and we can't get a key factor of this, taking pictures of the adventures along the way. Our next guest has spent many hours traveling and has had many chances to take pictures and capture moments. Fun fact about her is that she hails from Spencer, Wisconsin, where they proudly produce Cheeto dust. She loves American squeeze cheese just as much as I love taking pictures. Her bright energy and passion for this organization has rubbed off on countless people throughout her travels this year and will continue to do so. Please join me in welcoming the 2021-2022 National FFA Central Region Vice President, Courtney Zimmerman, for some special remarks.
Okay, thank you. Well, hello everyone. I'm Courtney. And there's something that you should probably know about me. So I'm the youngest child in my family. So before I go any further, do I have any fellow youngest children out there? Yeah, my people. Okay. How about my oldest siblings? Yeah, making yourself known as you should. Now you see, as the youngest, wait, hold on. The middle child. Is there any middle children out there? Yeah. I'm so sorry. I forgot about you all, but you all are probably used to it. I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, being the youngest child, oftentimes in my life, I led a lot of chaos in the household. Now, it was a little annoying. Every time that I did that, I typically said, they did it. It wasn't me. And Mom would typically believe me, but not all the time. But there was one thing about being the youngest child that I just never stopped doing. This was talking. Literally all the time, I could not be quiet. True story. One time, my mom and I were at Walmart, and she was out by the produce picking out some bananas, and I was halfway across the store having a conversation with a lady in a cat sweater, wondering why she was buying so much cat food and what she was doing with her life, and how can I get 40 cats? True story. But this was just a problem for me because oftentimes I talked so much that I just lost meaning behind every single one of the words that I said. I was just putting out words left and right, and nothing could stop me. So eventually, my family just stopped listening. And I'll be real with you, I don't blame them one bit. I was a little bit annoying and a little bit too much. But anyway, it was a big day in the Zimmerman household because Big Brother Aaron had an announcement to make. We gathered up in the living room and he let us know that we were playing no other than the best game ever, hide and go seek. I was so excited. Being 5 years old, I'll be honest with you, my options weren't exactly limited. So we circled up. He said, go. I whipped my curls in his face and I ran down the hallway. I found myself in the kitchen where I then laid eyes on the most glorious hiding place I could ever think of. Under the kitchen sink with all of the cleaning chemicals. It was perfect. So I walked over to the cabinet, opened the door, pulled out the trash can. And now I don't know about you all, but my mom has a tendency of, she'll use a soap bottle, she'll leave about this much in the bottom, and then just like stash it underneath the cupboard. So I moved over her 47 soap bottles, and I crawled in, and I got comfy, and I sat there, and I waited. And then I heard some footsteps, so I held my breath and was really, really quiet. And then they slowly disappeared. And I was still in the cabinet. So I sat there and I waited. And I got a little bored. So I started counting the grains of wood on the door. And I waited. And I waited. And nobody came for me. So then it dawned on me that maybe this hiding spot was almost too good of a hiding spot. Yeah. So I creeped the door open. I looked left and right. Not a person in sight. Perfect. So I slowly crawled out of the kitchen cabinet, glanced in the living room. Nobody. Looked out the window. No, they weren't outside. And then I heard something coming from down the hallway in my brother's room. So I carefully crept inch by inch just a little bit closer to the door until I got there and I slowly opened it. And you all, they were all sitting there. All of my siblings were sitting in there watching a movie. What? Like, they weren't even looking for me. Okay, let me tell you, I was upset. Did they even care that my 5-year-old self just literally thought of the best hiding place? Did they even care that I literally poured my heart and soul into this game? Did they even care? I went from winning at hide and go seek to losing at life in seconds. I stood there, and I couldn't even confront them. Now let's think about this in my own life. You know, I put myself into a cabinet. My siblings didn't put me there, my friends didn't put me there, my family didn't put me there. I crawled into that cabinet. And there was a time in my life that I felt like nobody cared what I had to say. I crawled into that cabinet. Now, maybe some of you have felt this exact same feeling. You haven't crawled into a cabinet But you find yourself oftentimes having something to say, but you hold back. You take a step back, you sit in the back, and you hope that somebody shares what you have to say. What you hold is valuable. Your voice is something that only you can share. So if you find yourself sitting in the back of the room, how are you going to vocalize what you have to say? Now you may be sitting here being like, no, girl, I don't have a problem with that. I can get up in front of a crew and I can give the information that I need to and speak what I have to say. And I'm here to tell you that's amazing, because we need people like you to stand up and lead and be the voice for people who are afraid to share what they have to say. We need both the people in the back of the room there to listen and the people willing to vocalize what they have to say. Both of them are so important. But oftentimes, if we find ourselves struggling to share our voice, we need to take a second to realize that if we don't, then who will? So this takes me back to a day in high school that I remember very distinctly. Now, I'll be honest with you. I started my mornings in a classroom that I didn't particularly enjoy, the English classroom. Now, this teacher and I, let me tell you, we didn't exactly see eye to eye. If I had a balloon, she popped it. If I had a popsicle, she melted it. If I said one thing, she said the other thing. We just never really saw eye to eye. But today was different. I walked in the door, and on the whiteboard, in big red letters, it read, Senior Research Project, topic due tomorrow. Awesome. The project I had to dedicate my entire senior year to, I had yet to think of any ideas. So I ran to my desk, I put my books down, and I got to writing. All right, what can I do this project on? All right, 1, how much I like cows. No, probably not. How much this English teacher really dislikes me. Definitely not. All right, here, how about this one? How the youngest child is scientifically proven to not only be the most attractive child, but the most intelligent as well. Yeah, I kind of liked it. But I didn't choose it. And so I sat there trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But then it came to me. My dad and I were having a conversation at the dinner table just a few nights prior, and my dad is my ag teacher. So our conversations are usually about the markets going on, what's happening in the classroom, plants, what his next lesson plans are. You name it, it always had to do with something agricultural. And that night, we just so happened to be talking about an email that popped into his inbox. And it was about methane emissions put out by cattle. Interesting. I had not a single clue about this, but I was intrigued. So I went with it. I picked it out as my project topic, I circled it on my paper, and I took it up to my teacher's desk, and I was really proud because I was super excited. And I showed it to her, and I was like, what do you think? And she looks at me, dead in the eyes. And she give that look that teachers give you sometime, and you're like, ooh, I did something wrong. Yeah, I got that look. And she says, Courtney, I think this project is way over your head. Who even really cares about this anyway? So I had one thing left to say. Bet, and I walked out of her classroom. I dedicated the next few months to this project. Every ounce of research that I could find, I used it. Every book that I could read, I read it. Every ounce of everything I put into this project. 1, to prove her wrong, and 2, because I was genuinely interested in it because I cared about it. And the day finally came to present the project. I had my papers in hand, went to the front of the room, presented it, put it in the basket, gave her that look. I was like, yeah, I did that. What's going on? And she just kind of gave me that side eye, but it's fine. And I sat down. The bell rang, and she walked up to me, and what she said next is what really changed my perspective. She handed me my papers. I glanced down, saw an awful lot of red marks, and she told me, Courtney, thank you. Thank you for believing in yourself. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think you could do it, but you did. So thank you. Thank you for sharing a voice that I didn't know you had and being truly passionate about something you cared about. And she walked away. But like I said, there was an awful lot of red marks on that paper. Comes to find out, she scored me a 99 out of 100. And she doesn't get 100%. But that 1 point, I lost because I forgot to put my name at the top of MLA format. Nice! I was a little upset about that. But at the end of the day, I was proud. I actually stood up for something that I cared about. I vocalized something that I had to say, and I learned more about it throughout the entire process. So Kansas FFA, what is something you care about? Is it in your community, in your home? Is it your family, your interests? What is it for you? And do you speak up for it? Are you the voice that people need to hear about what you care about? And are you willing to share it? There's a lot of things in life that are going to be taken from us. Quite a few. But our voice is one thing that can never, ever be taken from us. I believe Winston Churchill said it best when he said, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. But courage is what it also takes to sit back and listen. As you think about your own life and you think about the voice that you have to share, there is nothing that can replace your own voice. So it's your job to share it. And so I encourage you to talk, and talk a lot, but talk with purpose. The words that we say should have meaning behind them, and we should fully back up everything that we have to say. And again, if I don't be the voice, then who will? If I don't share what I have to say, I don't think the person sitting next to me is going to say what I need to. So share your voice, because what you have is so important, and nobody can ever take that away from you, and nobody else can share it. So think about it. When was a time in your life that you didn't stand up for something you cared about? How did it go? Now, let's turn the tables a little bit. When was a time in your life that you stood up for something, you shared your voice, and you were proud of yourself for doing that? Every single one of us have a voice that needs to be used, and unless we use it, nobody will. So Kansas FFA, talk, and talk a lot, but talk with purpose. Our words have so much power, and we need those listeners in the back of the room. But we need those people to be willing to stand up and share what they have to say. So as you go out of this convention hall, as you continue with your convention, and you go on to what's next, whether that's in high school, if that's moving on to college, if that's going into the workforce, whatever that looks like for you, share your voice. Nothing can ever take it away from you, and you need to use it. So once again, talk a lot, but talk with purpose. Kansas FFA, use your voice. Go share your voice, because if you don't, nobody will. That's your power, and nobody can take it away from you. Thank you. Sounds good.
Courtney, thank you for pouring your heart out and sharing such encouraging thoughts with us. Your smile and words have poured light into many of us here today. Thank you for traveling to the great state of Kansas. On behalf of the Kansas FFA Association, we would like to present this gift to show our appreciation. Filling out a scholarship can be a tedious process, just like your mom or your ACT teacher trying to get everyone's attention to get a family or a group picture. You have to get everyone in line by height in the right position and make sure everyone is smiling. As the flash illuminates the subject of our photo, we would like to shine our light to our scholarship winners. These next members are involved in their community, have academic success, and a future plan. Mr. Secretary, please read the names of the students receiving the FFA Alumni and Washington Leadership Conference scholarships.
The Kansas FFA Alumni provides numerous scholarships to help students attend the Washington Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. This year's WLC scholarship recipients are: from the Kenton Galva FFA chapter, Sage Taves. From the Clay Center FFA chapter, Sarah Beth Martin. From the Clay Center FFA chapter, Jordan Schneal. From the Clay Center FFA chapter, Sarah Smith. From the Marmaton Valley FFA chapter, Mallory Heim. From the McLeod FFA chapter, Kennedy Kaufman. From the McLeod FFA chapter, Ella Gantz. From the Minneapolis FFA chapter, August Holz. From the Minneapolis FFA chapter, Hayden Lott. From the Republic County FFA chapter, Emily Hansen. From the Republic County FFA chapter, Ella Pachta. From the Stockton FFA chapter, Cappy Houting. From the Tonganoxie FFA chapter, Graham Foley. From the Tonganoxie FFA chapter, Dalton Regier. Please join me in giving these Kansas FFA Alumni Scholarship recipients a round of applause. The next scholarship award area is sponsored by the Jeremy and Emily Linning families. The winners of the scholarship are provided funds to attend the Washington Leadership Conference. The winners of the scholarship are: from the Chapman FFA chapter, Shannon Anderson. From the Labette County FFA chapter, Cecilia Newby. From the Waukene chapter, Daniel Hale. Congratulations to these scholarship recipients. Our next scholarship award area is sponsored by the Linning and Casting families. The winners of this scholarship are provided funds to attend the Washington Leadership Conference. The winners of this scholarship are: from the Meridazine FFA chapter, Haley Bethel. Please join me in congratulating these scholarship recipients. Our next scholarship award area is sponsored by the Mailer Lenning and Caston families. The winners of this scholarship are provided funds to attend Washington Leadership Conference. The winners of this scholarship are, from the Meridazine FFA chapter, Olivia Lacey and Kelsey Rice. Please help me in congratulating these scholarship recipients. Our next scholarship award area is sponsored by the Rick Mailer and Bonnie Mailer, Collier Mailer. The winners of this scholarship are provided funds to attend the Washington Leadership Conference. The winners of the scholarship are, from Chapman, Alyssa Johnson. From Colby, Joe Elijah. From Cunningham, Ada Adams. From Cunningham, Julia Hagman. From Eudora, Ben Burling. From Lebec County, FFA chapter, Alyssa Barger. From Marmaton Valley, Bailey LaRue. From Phillipsburg, Cadence Lamont. From Stockton, Jolie Sterling. From Waukene, Wyatt Littlechild. And from Washington County, Elizabeth Wright. Let's give one last round of applause to all these scholarship recipients.
Picture yourself in a green John Deere Gator. You're zooming fast across this beautiful green pasture. Smell of the gasoline, the wind whipping through your hair, and fear of bugs getting in your teeth. Sounds like you're living the best life, right? This afternoon, 10 members' names will be drawn to have a chance to take home their own Gator. Students who complete the state FFA degree, agri-science fair, American degree, and proficiency application are entered in the Gator giveaway drawing. Also, if they are a state winner, their name gets included twice. But before we can announce the winner, let's thank the sponsors who have made the Gator drawing possible. Please join me in thanking American Implement, Carico Implement, Landmark Implement, Hiawatha Implement, Heritage Tractor, Prairieland Partners, and BTI for their support of our members. I will now draw the names of 10 members who are the finalists for the Gator. Cody Willie from Iola. Colby Hink from Mission Valley. Nathaniel Erskine from Canton Galva. Ainsley Beats from Girard. Abigail Robinson from Royal Valley. Cheyenne Hill from McLeod. Keegan Craig from Chapman. Lily Lefford from Royal Valley. Cody Loganville from Eudora.
And the last one is Kiana Crawford from Hugoton. Congratulations to all our Gator Drawing finalists. Finalists must be present for the 6th session to be eligible for the final drawing. Finalists should check in backstage before the end of the state degree presentation in the 6th session. Spending this third session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention with all of you has been an honor. As this session comes to a close, I am amazed and in awe by the incredible members we have representing our association and by those who spend countless hours supporting our organization. We just soaked in and captured special moments together, and now it's time to call upon Ashley Chandler to assume the duties of the chair.
Mr. Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
Yes, I do, Madam President. Delegates, the business session in the Alumni Center ballroom begins at 4:30 p.m. and is a vital part of the delegate process. Remember, tonight at 5:30, the State FFA Band and Chorus will be making their debut. We encourage everyone to attend. Between the concert and the 4th session, the auditorium must be cleared. The house will reopen 30 minutes prior to the 4th session. Finally, the 4th session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention will begin tonight at 7 p.m. During the session, we will hear the retiring address from your State Vice President, Rachel Sebesta, recognize our public speaking career development event winners, and listen to our keynote speaker, Dr. Rick Rigsby.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this session of the 94th Kansas FFA Convention. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this session adjourned. Wait. There we go.